In this GYDA Expert Seminar, Gareth Healey takes you through 4 strategies to help you with your people puzzle, including enabling and encouraging people to achieve greater knowledge, capabilities and performance, plus much more.
Right, so this is a masterclass from GYDA, Grow Your Digital Agency, and small discrete audience, which is fantastic to listen to and watch Gareth Healey, who's going to be talking about 4 strategies to solve your people puzzle. People seem to be the big thing we all talk about forever and ever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand over to Gareth. He's going to present for about 25-ish minutes. Any questions, put them in the Q&A, and then we can have a good chat and conversation afterwards, and we'll sort of wrap up before the o'clock. So over to you, Gareth. You should have control and you should be able to share slides when you're ready.
Thank you very much, Robert. That's shared? Can everybody see that?
Absolutely.
Got that good? Fantastic. Thank you very much for that intro. It's great to be here, Robert, with you. It's great to see. We don't see much of each other these days, do we? Not seeing each other in person for 18 months, but it's always good to see you. And thank you, everybody else, for joining us today. I mean, Robert gave me an open brief here to talk about exactly what I wanted, as long as it was to do with growing digital agencies, of course. So I've chosen people. Just a little bit about me first before we get into that. I'm an agency coach and mentor. I'm based in North Yorkshire in Harrogate in the UK. Have, despite my youthful good looks, 25 years experience in the sector. Bulk of those, about 15 years, I owned and ran my own agency. Worked for it for a bit longer. We did a management buyout. So I bought an agency and then ran it for 15 years, got it up to 12 million turnover, 175 people. So big old number of people. Exited that business in 2017, and since then I've been working with Robert and with my own clients on helping agencies grow. So that's enough about me. But like I say, Robert gave me open brief. What do I want to talk about? So I chose what is the second biggest headache for agency owners, in my opinion. It's the second. It's the thing that takes up the second most amount of airtime in my meetings, probably just behind new business, of course, for many people, but it's people and the challenges, joys of managing, motivating, recruiting, retaining people is sort of often on the agenda for with my meetings and my clients. And the reason for that, well, I think that over the recent years has become even more prevalent, really, because there are more and more employment opportunities for people, as we've touched upon just now, than ever before. There's when I started out in agencies, I mean, there wasn't just agencies to work for, and freelancing was, of course, a thing, but even back then. But it's far easier now to be a freelancer. It's far easier to set your own business up. We all know about the sort of proliferation of agencies of all different types, and of course, in-housing in recent years has become even more and more on the radar, and more job opportunities in brands have become available. And we've got, massive changes in attitudes to work since I started out in agencies. The desire for more work-life balance, of course, has changed, not just in agency world, but in business and the world in general. And more recently, of course, an increased demand for digital skills, and COVID has obviously hit. I'm not going to talk too much about COVID today, but it's changed how we know we can work, and it's changed how a lot of people want to work. I talk to agencies every day, not all of them, but every day somebody talks to me about currently about the challenges they're facing in getting their staff back to the office. Even though it might, when we're able to, or morally right to do so, people have adapted very, very well to working from home and want to retain that flexibility, and that in many instances not get back to the office. So huge challenges. I have to admit something here. Actually, I never have a crystal ball, but about 12 months ago, I predicted a couple of things and was talking openly about a couple of things. I thought there's never going to be a positive from COVID. Of course, it's been a horrendous experience for us all. But I thought maybe a slight silver lining to the economic fallout, if you can look at silver linings and look for positives, I thought there might be a bit more of an opportunity to get some better people on board. I thought those agencies that survived would have a bit more of an opportunity to pick and choose some decent staff who sadly might have lost their jobs or for whatever reason been out of work. And I thought that there'd be more loyalty. I thought people would hunker down a bit and try and ride things out a little bit in the job they're in, so there'd be less sort of change in roles and more loyalty. And certainly what I'm seeing, a massive generalization, of course, but how wrong I was, because certainly in the people I'm speaking to in the world I'm operating in with agencies, the key skills in particular, the technical skills, are more in demand than ever, as are the people, as I think Tim's just touched upon there in the opening section. Recruiting people are throwing money at people, and as I'll touch upon later, often it's people that even I look at and think, they're not worth that money and they're not experienced enough to command that salary. And people are moving jobs more frequently than ever before as well. I know people that have actually changed jobs during the pandemic and never actually set foot in the business they've been working for, and before they've moved on. So, how wrong I was there. I think we can all see that. I would say I've been talking to somebody in an agency owner this morning about this. That there's seemingly almost a transfer of power from employer to employee. I'm sure it's not just the agency sector experiencing this, but just like consumers started to sort of wrestle some control away from brands, the employer, I'm finding myself, a couple of people have commented on this to me in the last week or so, that employees have got the power now. Employees are demanding salaries, demanding flexibility, negotiating harder. People are taking up a lot more time, and the issues around recruitment particularly taking up a lot more time. And there's this arms race of sort of perks and benefits that people in agencies are trying to match what is either literally or on offer at other agencies of their competitors, or maybe it is rumoured and the media suggests there's on offer at bigger companies, Facebook and Google and all the usual sort of suspects. There's this arms race to sort of match the perks and benefits of unlimited holidays, complete flexibility, gym memberships, Netflix subscriptions. Where's it going to end? But I do think already that the thing that worries me the most is not that, it's the fact that I'm already seeing lower standards in people, and lower standards in agencies, recruitment people. So people joining agencies on higher salaries at a higher level, who I believe wouldn't have been recruited 12 months ago, 2 years ago, at that level on that salary, because they don't have the experience. They might be great people, but they don't have the experience to demand that salary. But because of the shortage, because of the urgency, I'm seeing that lower standard with people, we're grabbing people, whereas and that's not a good place to be.